Hello everyone, PPFB here with a new video sharing about my thoughts on how best to climb in the new epic arcade arena. So hopefully we can define the meta for another PvP game mode again today. Firstly, one thing to take note of is that most people will be gate capped by having too little tickets, as the tickets recharge very slowly. I think it's like 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours for a ticket. So it is really essential to win every battle. And for people climbing, look to hit people with much higher trophies than yourself. And for the people at the top, please scout your opponents and take note of their cookie lineups and cooldowns so that you don't lose any crucial battle. So let's get into the comms proper. I am mainly using this comm to climb. So far I have a 100% win rate on it against everyone else. My two guildmates at the top have also built same or similar comms, so I have to build other things to counter them, but I'll get to that later. So as you can see, firstly, this is a T-Knight scam comm. No super epic is required, but it is not the easiest to build. The rotation goes 1 second burn cheese to stun all enemies, followed by 2 seconds latte to silence and disrupt them further, 3 seconds rebel to debuff the enemies and give them defense down, and 4 seconds caviar to burst and destroy their whole team. Essentially by this point, your opponent's team should already be half dead and not functioning. So lastly, we have T-Knight here to clean up if needed. Okay, getting into toppings and biscuits. For T-Knight, you want to stack as much defensive stats as possible. Damage resist will be the most optimal, with some attack speed. For biscuit wise, stack up defensive stats enough and only add damage resist bypass after if you can afford it. His main goal is to be the last cookie alive. Next we have burn cheese. He needs 50.1% cooldown to have a 1 second start, and he needs some attack speed to be able to get the rope treasure. For Rebel, he has more leeway. Any set, raspberry, apple jellies, or chocolates will work. Basically, having a 3 second start is enough. Not 2 second, 3 second. To optimize further, you can probably run chocos with bypass. Let me see. Yeah, you can run chocos with bypass, something like this. I just don't want to. Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Chocos with bypass. Yep. For caviar, you want to stack as much attack as possible with as much damage resist bypass as possible. So something like this will be fine. You don't need any cooldown, some damage resist will be good. Lastly, for latte, you need a 44.5% cooldown for the 2 second start. It's best to have a magic candy at plus 30 so that her silence will be longer and you'll disrupt enemies for a longer period of time. T-Knight and caviar also, the higher the magic candy, the better the comm will be. So for these 4 cookies, all of them should have some damage resist, but I would say around 10 to 20% should be enough. For the treasures, we have ropes, scroll, and insignia. For the ropes, we want to give it to burn cheese and T-Knight. T-Knight so that he can be a hyper carry if he needs to be, and burn cheese so that he can get his stun off quicker and disrupt enemy rotation more effectively, which immediately changes into latte silence. Insignia is a T-Knight scam comm staple for T-Knight to do his job at the end, and epic scroll for the most damage output. I don't like to run whistle as it has less overall attack buffs, and the extra damage resist and heal may cause T-Knight to have a higher chance of not being the last cookie alive. And we are also not going to run watch as we only care about the first rotation, and watch does not affect our starting cooldowns. For replacements, okay, for burnt cheese it will be fruit jellyfish, but she's banned this season. What I would run would be strawberry crepe with the magic candy, but you will also need a high cooldown defense biscuit for that. For latte, you can run 2 seconds smoked cheese uh, to essentially do the same thing, just that rather than a silence, it will be a charm. And it's important to note that the Monaco treasure would not cleanse smoked cheese charm. So you can scam Monacos either way. And also I have seen some people opt to use the new super epic Camellia cookie over latte, as he has a fixed 2 second start. And he also debuffs the highest attacking enemy cookie, like for example creme brulee. However, I don't necessarily like it, as he usually runs almonds and can cause Tea Knight to not be the last cookie alive. Also, the disruption from latte and smoked cheese is more valuable to me for this comp. Okay, so that's this comp. We'll get into the battles later, and let's talk about the counter to this comp and what you should avoid. Although I would like to point out, I haven't seen anyone running the counter yet, other than my guildmate. So to counter this comp, I use Crimson Coral with Creme Brulee and 3 healers. Coral as a solo tank. Wait, let me show the stats first. Yeah, Coral as a solo tank can soak up all the initial bursts from the Tea Knight Scam comp and still be alive. And more importantly, she also reflects the damage back. It reflects 30% of incoming damage. Moreover, she also has this knockback resist. Where is it? Yeah. Reduce the effect of knockback and flying. And this is important because Tea Knight cannot push into and damage our healers and Creme Brulee. Creme Brulee is here as our sole DPS to clean up the rest of the cookies in this comp. And for the 3 healers, they are there to keep the comp healthy after the initial burst. I would prioritize, for the healers, I'll prioritize Min Choco for his synergy with Creme Brulee in giving attack speed buffs, etc. And Parfait for the CC immunity. So let's say Bunchy survives and he casts his skill again, Creme Brulee will not be stunned. Otherwise, any healer should function the same. Let's see what other healers there are. Maybe Cream Puff, Peppermint, etc. Rockstar, not really. Yeah, so I'm just going to run through very quickly the starting times. So for Coral, you want to focus on damage resist, and she has a fixed 2 second start. Min Choco, 2 second start with damage resist focus. Parfait, 3 second start damage resist focus. Creme Brulee, damage resist bypass. Enough damage resist and attack speed to get ropes. And Star Coral, damage resist and 3 second start as well. Wait, I just realized something. Okay, yeah. So the ropes can go to Creme Brulee and any other cookie, doesn't really matter. Whistle should go to Creme Brulee for the extra damage resist, and Watch so that they can heal and cast their skills more frequently. So lastly, to counter this comp, which beats the Tea Knight comp, we'll have a pure one-shot comp. And basically we're just using the same Tea Knight comp, but we're replacing Tea Knight with Camellia and Latte with Almond. This version outputs a lot more initial damage, but has no insurance policy in Tea Knight. The rotation functions similarly, so 1 second Burn Cheese into 2 second Camellia into 3 second Rebel, 4 second Caviar, 4 second Almond. But the difference is that as Almond casts right after Caviar, his skill would make Caviar burst a lot higher. His skill being the skill link, the damage link. Yeah, which will basically one-shot the Crimson Coral team. And also Camellia works better here than Latte, as he can tank some hits and serve as like our tank for this comp. With that, let's get into the battles where I'll feature 3 of these comps.